June the 13th, 2019. Guys, I hope everyone's enjoying the cooler weather in the southeast. The lower humidity is really nice. It's been a blessing after the heat from the last few weeks. Now, no parts of the nation are a little hotter. But guys, what we're watching right now is a real-time solar wind as it passes across the Discover satellite. It's kind of an early warning system of what's headed towards our planet. We have a coronal hole in the northern hemisphere of the sun, and it's allowing a lot of really high-density solar wind, in this case, to bombard our planet. Something unusual about this, and I've talked about it before, in the purple line is your solar wind speed in kilometers per second. You're looking around 1,000,000 miles an hour. And normally when that happens, your density will dip. And I call it the smoke and the wind effect. You put a fan on over a campfire where the smoke's rising, and it's going to almost make the smoke disappear because you've got a lot less smoke than air suddenly. Same way with the density or the protons in solar wind. But this coronal opening at the top of the sun here is actually where the solar surface, or the canopy, which is called the magnetic canopy of the sun, has openings in it like a clear day on Earth. And all the other parts that you see here are actually magnetic canopies. That is this energy is released from the sun, guys. It is captured and transferred back down. But where it doesn't have the magnetic canopy, we get it when it's Earth facing. Over the last 7 days, the quakes have been quiet till a few minutes ago. Notice universal time, it's already the 14th. And we get the 6.5 quake. This is 79 kilometers west of Coquimbo, Chile. It's listed at 10 kilometers depth. A lot of times you'll see that offshore. Now, it wasn't strong enough to produce a tsunami. There's no reports of it, although it's just offshore, and it's actually between the fault right there that many call the Ring of Fire and the Chilean coast. Anyway, we expect that when we see when we're in solar minimum, our shields are weaker. And remember one of the last videos I did, we were talking about these noctilucent clouds, guys, that were meteor vapor trails, and how they had really increased in their latitude. But here's two articles that we're looking at. Solar wind incoming. A solar wind stream flowing from a northern hole in the sun's atmosphere could graze Earth's magnetic field today, and that's what we just pointed out. Now, hardly any of these scientific reports ever mention, guys, and after 6 years of doing this, it still amazes me that they cause earthquakes. And if you've watched my video, we show it to you every time. Also, it says the impact is expected to cause geomagnetic activity just below the level of the G1 class storm. Faint auroras here on the noctilucent clouds visit Europe. Best season for these clouds in many years. Check this out. It says again, the best season for the clouds in many years, and perhaps ever. Think about that. Is now underway. Electric blue clouds of frosted meteor smoke are swirling around the Arctic Circle, occasionally dipping down to low latitudes where they have rarely been seen before. Last night there were widespread sightings in Europe, including this display in the Netherlands. It's amazing, guys, thicker than they've ever seen them, and in lower latitudes. We haven't seen NLCs here for many years, says photographer Jan Coleman. Last night they were incredibly bright. Europeans saw the same display in Germany, Belgium, and France. This follows an even bigger outbreak of NLCs in the U.S. on June 8th and 9th. That was the ones in our last video. It says they produced sightings as far south as California, Utah, Oklahoma, and New Mexico. What's happening? Previous studies have shown that noctilucent clouds sometimes intensify during solar minimum. It says solar minimum conditions are in effect now as the sun has been without spots for 25 consecutive days. Guys, actually that's not what solar minimum means. It's an 11.8-year cycle. We just happen to be going downhill in our cycles in the grand solar minimum. Situation that may favor the frosting of meteor smoke high above Earth. Why? And they don't mention this because our shields are weak, the same way they don't mention earthquakes. says look west 30 to 60 minutes after sunset to get the best view. And look at this, guys, this map of the northern hemisphere from last night. Those are meteor trails, vapor trails, or ionization trails of what they call meteor smoke. But guys, on our website, we have the live meteor link in the bottom left. And if you want to check that out, what it does, guys, is give you a ping and a radar indicated graph of when these meteorites are hitting our upper atmosphere and causing that ionization trail. But come to our website, the links are on the left, and come down to live meteors. All the other links, guys, you just saw in this video are here. But if you click on live meteors, now what that will do is take you to their site called livemeteors.com, and it's giving you a minute or so of information. You have in this lighter series 55.24 megahertz. This is in the FM band. And guys, that is what's happening is there's a Canadian TV station that's broadcasting. And as that broadcast wave moves through the upper atmosphere, the Yaga antennas in New York City can pick this up. And that's what you're seeing right in the center of the small pings. Now I'll turn it up for just a moment. And you can hear that sound, but you'll hear a definite pinging when you have these meteors, and you've seen these things very active on this chart. Here's one coming right now. I'll turn it up just a moment. I know it's kind of intense, but there is a meteor right in the center that just popped in, but we've seen swarms come through. Now, even though this is will only go on for a few minutes, and you'll see here, if you go to their YouTube channel, you can actually scan through this for the whole day. But guys, it's very interesting science, because of grand solar minimum, our shields are weak. These are penetrating further down, and they're being seen at more southern latitudes than ever before. And some of the reports from Europe are that these noctilucent clouds are the strongest they've ever seen. But guys, it's a heads up. We're watching it. Thank you for your support. Be safe.